of Ekwapim kudos to the delegates. Like I said, experience matters when it comes to some of these things, and they have proven that indeed they want somebody who has the experience to be able to lead them. So some of us, like I keep saying, I want a change in the constituency. So whatever I can be able to do in my capacity as the Apesamakahine of Adosu to ensure that come 2024, we are not going to have the same white, red, blue as an MP. We're going to do it. So we are all in. Evans, we are ready for action. Bless, it's sad to start on this note because sometimes when you are in the mix of the white, they see you as if you are from a different planet. And this is something we have been condemning over the years. In football matches, it happens. When you are having meetings, it happens. Now look at where it has also ended. A whole ambassador, Romanian ambassador to Kenya, calling the people that where they have housed you, people who have given you a place to stay, to be able to do your work, you are calling them monkeys. That is so sad. And you see, sometimes we think of human rights, and a whole lot of things happens. If it were to be some country, they will just lay him on a table and give him 24 lashes. And next time, when he see black man, he is going to respect. And this thing has been happening in most of our foreign countries, especially the white-dominated area. There are some places when you go and the whites see you black being there, they wonder where or what you are really doing over there. And this is something the whole world has to come together and talk about it. This is where I expect, that's why for me, I keep telling you that it is because Africa, we are not united. That is why some of these things happen. Because what has happened in Kenya can as well happen to Ghana. It can happen in Togo. It can happen in Burkina Faso. And so if the leaders are together, they can be able to stamp their feet down and say some of these things ought not to happen. But because we are not united, they always get away with it. What punishment are they going to give this gentleman? All that they are going to say is that go back to your home country. If they could take some drastic measures, close down the embassy, make sure that for the next 5 to 10 years, none of their ambassadors will enter their country, it will serve them as it will serve as a lesson to some of these countries who look down upon African people. But you see, Bless, there's a saying that just as you are advising the cat, make sure you advise the meat as well. If we have been able to comport ourselves, we have been able to be independent, if we have been able to make sure that we do everything on our own, just like our president once said, beyond aid, but now we are even more than the beyond aid. If we are self-dependent, self-reliance, I don't think some of these things will happen. Because we go to them to borrow, we go to them for grants, we go to them to beg, even we go to them for them to come and construct our roads. And at the end of the day, they don't respect us because we will come to them and beg. If you want to contest as presidency in your own hometown, you go to them and beg. If you want to construct road, you go to them and beg. If you want to build schools, you go to them and beg. Hospitals, everything. So why wouldn't they look down upon us? It is about time we come together as a united front. Look, I was having a conversation with a friend, and he is a foreigner. And he told me, look, you guys in Africa, do you know you can feed the rest of the world? If you guys come together, because you have what it takes to be able to feed the rest of the world. But simply because we are not united, we can't do anything. But if we believe that we can be able to do something for this world, then leaders, this is the time. African leaders, This is the time. We need to come together. There was a time we celebrate African Union Day. Now, when was the last time you even heard of it? That's why I said, African leaders, what we are very fantastic in doing is that on paper, we are very good. On paper, we can give you a script that will even blow your mind. But when it comes to the practical aspect, when it comes to the implementation, it is Dukada. So it's about time, African leaders, you learn something from this Kenyan episode and say no to foreign aids and foreign assistance. Now, look at where we are as a nation. We were fighting to get $3 billion. 600 came and we are happy. We have relaxed. When that 600 gets finished, we see the noise again. Bless. It's sad. But this racism issues needs to be stopped. And it lies in the hands of all African world leaders to have a critical look at a summit and at the end of the day say no to racism. Other than that, a time will come we'll be killing ourselves. If I see a white man, because he doesn't respect me, I don't respect him, anything can happen. For me, we need to come together. That's it for what I can say on that.
It's very serious, and I'll be following keenly to see how this ends. Yeah. The monkeys have joined us.
You need to. It's serious. It's serious.
The monkeys have joined us.
There's a story. Off air, I was telling you something that when you travel, and I know my brother Solo has also been traveling over the years, and he can attest to the fact, including Honorable. When you are in a train or you are in a bus, and even kids realizing that you are a black person, they don't even want to get close to you. And by the time you realize their parents have just pulled them, if even there is an empty seat right by your side, nobody prefers to sit on it. So what happens is that you see the blacks in either buses or train, then the next seat they put their luggage on it. Simply because the whites don't want to mix. And it is bad. It's bad. So, Honorable, carry it to Parliament for us. And let's debate extensively and say no and end racism in the world. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Nana Ntuamrechi. Let me say hearty good morning to Solomon Owusu, who just joined us. Good morning, Mr. Owusu.
Good morning, Bless.
I trust you are fine, sir.
Not bad at all, but it's great. You are still kicking. Good morning to Honorable. He helped you to win. Did you know win?
We won.
You won easily.
That's the campaign that we did for you. So you have to pour like this. It's business of me campaigning for you and you win and not coming back. It's a problem. It's a problem. But,
that's what we want to do for Allah. And you come back and do.
And pour like this.
So, but I was happy when I heard he won.
He won quite easily.
That's good. That's good. I mean, it means the people really, really appreciate it. We are grateful too.
I went through,
Yes, it's good. Except that he's going to have a very tough contest with the NPP.
See this man.
Yes. I'm happy he won for the NDC, but my candidate there will beat you.
Is MPP still in power?
Oh, they are in power.
I'm surprised.
So you believe which party is in power?
No, I'm surprised because the way things are going, I'm surprised they are still in power.
Right, let me come to Honorable Kurt on this issue of racism in Romania, where an ambassador, the Romanian ambassador to Kenya, referred to the people of Kenya as monkeys. The monkeys have joined us. If you can forward the daily guide to Mr. Owusu, yes, I think it is on page 5, so that you can also go through the story. Honorable.
Yeah, let me say good morning to the viewers of Pan-African television and also to my constituents. Let me greet them in our local language. Mbana manama yempo ya zozo zinambe Pan-African television. Kaya Sara Dania ka mbaka tractor la kaili ping tractor nkopa. Yeah, Osumia kaya ya kola ne kaya mami yesi wona ncheng soma. Yeah, I just greeted them in a local language. I have one tractor, but I have rented another tractor, subsidize it so that it can do the farming. It can help them with the farming. The rains have fallen, and it's late, and a lot of people want to do to prepare their land for the farming season. So I've got to do that intervention to assist them do their farming. Yeah, the story looks a little bit bizarre, but in this 21st century, a diplomat, yes, a diplomat, and that is to say somebody who probably have had his career in that direction, in an African country, in Kenya, will see a monkey by the window or monkeys by the window and say that yes, our Africans have joined us. Just seeing the monkeys and interpreting it to mean that our friends from Africa have joined us. In other words, Africans are monkeys. It is unfortunate. Honestly speaking, I schooled in Russia, and whenever the Russians wanted to offend you as an African, they called you a monkey. And whenever we also wanted to retaliate, we called them pigs. Yes, but that was those days in the 80s, and it looks as if something has to happen for such a thing to occur. In other words, either you have interacted with them or you are doing something that they are not happy with before they start saying those sort of things. But looking under the circumstances that we find this particular story, it looks as if there was no provocation. It looks as if that is his mentality. And he spoke for somebody to hear that this is what he's saying. And that is very, very unfortunate. That this man of a caliber of an ambassador should be making such a statement when he's waiting for Africans to join him and he sees monkeys. He said, our Africans have joined us. I must say that the struggle for racism to end is not that easy as we think. Now we are thinking of globalization. We are thinking that people are moving from one end to the other. Europeans are coming to Africa. They are seeing what we can also do. We are going there. They are seeing us practically in all their places. I remember as a student, one time I went for practicals at a village, and the sort of ceremony that was, that was held to welcome me meant that I was like the first black man to come to that place. And I remember that when you are in their bus or in their we call it tramway, that is moving trains or something. When you are inside those vehicles, the children will come and touch your skin secretly when their mothers are not looking. You just see whether your skin is different from that of a human being. When I see those sort of things happening, I laugh and smile to the children, and they also smile back. But for this particular story, I can't spare the ambassador. I can't laugh to the ambassador for what he thought when he called the monkeys that our Africans are joining us. And we should not take it for granted. And so the fight against racism should continue. A lot of our people who have traveled outside will complain that at one time or the other they have experienced such aspects of racism. And recently, I think, is it Saka of Arsenal? Yes, a very good footballer. I think he's one of the best now in the world. Yes, he's one of the best in the world now, who plays very, very entertaining football. I mean, when the ball is with his left leg, it's practically impossible for you to take the ball from him. And considering the performance of Arsenal this year, I never knew that he'll go to a place and then he'll be subjected to... No, it's not Saka. It is...
Vinicius.
Yes. Of Real Madrid. Yes.
But I mean, this season, Saka has suffered racism.
Also suffered racism, yes.
When he missed the penalty for Arsenal against one of the teams.
Yes. But this, I mean, look at the way Vinicius is playing.
Yeah.
He is practically one of the best that you can get in this world.
Top 3 right now, if you ask.
Yes. Yeah. And he's the main man behind the success of Real Madrid. And you subject these people to insults. I thought that even looking at his talent alone, you should have, people should have realized that no, this is a man that God has sent down to if there's racism, to rather fight racism and tell the whole world that what Messi can do, probably Vinicius can also do the same thing. And yet we see them being subjected to all these racist activities. And it's very, very common. We shouldn't hide it. We shouldn't be thinking that it is over. We should always continue. Whenever we get cases of this sort, we should expose them. The punishment should be harsh. Indeed, this man should have been sent to a court in Kenya, and their people should have, he should have been bailed. Yes, he should have been sent to the court in Kenya. And I know that it's a bailable offense, so they will bail him. Then he should have been tried there, and we'll see the country coming in probably to beg or intervene on his behalf. And we'll see what punishment that country is going to give it to them. Having said this, our fight should not only be against them. We should carry out some internal introspection of ourselves. The way we've had a political independence, but we are still struggling with new colonialism or our economic independence. We are still going back to the same people. Romania is a poor country. I've been there before. They are one of those countries that in the Eastern Bloc that have just probably joined the European Union. It is a poor country. But Africa as a whole, we're not doing well. We're still going back to these people for pittance. We're going back to beg for assistance when it is something that if we sat down and did our homework well, we probably could have been doing better. This idea of looking down upon us will continue so far as we continue as a continent and hence a race. We'll continue to go back to them, to be borrowing money, asking for assistance, and not doing well at home. When we continue to migrate illegally to those countries. I remember some Ghanaians came to Russia. I don't know what they wanted to do, but you realize that they passed through Romania and came to Russia, and it was an illegal distance. When Ghanaians are going to Romania, we don't need a visa because of the relationship Nkrumah had with them. We don't need a visa. And so Ghanaians are able to fly from here to Romania, and from Romania they are able to enter into some European countries, including Russia. So we must put, unless there's what we call the economic emancipation, unless we also are able to set conditions, say that Europeans who are coming here are not only coming to exploit our minerals, our oil, our cocoa and everything, and take it back and create employment at their end, whilst we continue to be jobless over here. Unless we put in the measures that will let them respect us as Africans, we will not be able to say that we will not be able to stop them from this their behavior. We need, once we find that we need to put our own house also in order.
Right. Thank you so much. Let me come to Mr. Owusu.
Bless, we are back to the same issue, Africa being disrespected. The question you ask yourself is now who caused that? We are our own problem. We are our own problems. So sometimes, I mean, respect is not commanded, it's earned. And to the extent that we are not doing things that would suggest that people must respect us, is the bane of the continent. Look, we have ECOWAS. Ask yourself, when they go to ECOWAS meetings, what sort of currency do they use? It's not dollars. You have Economic Community of West Africa States, formed in 1975. We are in 2023. They go to ECOWAS meetings in Abuja. The medium of trading is dollars. You move from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, your city is nothing to write home about. You move from Ghana to Burkina, no one recognizes your city. Ghana to Togo, cross and city has no value. So what are we talking about? A continent with about 54 member states. We have more than 33 currencies. We cannot even agree amongst ourselves. We can't do things together to have a common currency. Meanwhile, we are the first to quote this proverb that divided we fall, united
We stand.
we stand. And to that extent, we have even formed Africa Union. How unionized are we when we cannot even agree on a common currency? How unionized are we when I would need visa to go to Morocco, I would need visa to go to Egypt, I would need visa to enter Ethiopia, I would need visa to enter other African countries? How unionized are we when on the continent of South Africa here, there is something called xenophobia.
Yeah.
Xenophobia. Blacks killing blacks. So when you give yourself this opportunity, why would any idiot of an ambassador from Romania not call us monkeys? He knows no African ambassador could do that in Romania.
No.
But they do it with ease, just like when you have foreign ambassadors in Ghana here who poke their nose into our local politicking. So the British High Commissioner, the former one, he dabbled in our local politics. Recently, the German ambassador. You now have that World Bank country representative. Is he gone?
He's here.
He was just talking anyhow because we don't respect ourselves. Instead of we coming together, see, the Middle East once upon a time was never respected by these Westerners until they took a cue that, look, we are going to develop our economies. So the Dubai, the Abu Dhabi, the GCC, the Qatar, the Bahrain decided to invest in their economy, use their resources judiciously. Now they have developed beyond a certain measure, to the extent that Qatar investors are now buying clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
When you go to London now, a lot of the Brits are moving out of, going outside London because the city of London has been taken over by foreigners. That is the power of governing your country or your continent very well. But we would just be hailing white. Find any meeting, whether at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of, you will see a white person there. You ask yourself, what is that person doing there? Any policy direction, if there is no white person sitting in, it's as though there is nothing happening. Meanwhile, these people, they don't have our interest. In any case, if we were even having that opportunity, we also don't have their interest. Yeah. That is why it is important we have to build our local economies. One, we must unite. African Union must move beyond rhetorics, mere talks. We sat on this continent for Muammar Gaddafi to be killed like a chicken. Why the African Union? Nobody could speak because all of them are bootlicking. We allowed him to be killed, and that is what has led to a lot of instability in the Saharian regions, because a lot of ammunitions that were left in the hands of people that were not supposed to have it trickled down to Niger, to Mali, and so now you see a lot of confusion there. Muammar Gaddafi was preventing all those things. He needed us to be united. Kwame Nkrumah started it, but I don't know, for one or two reasons. Selfishness killing us. So we need to unite. We need to deal with the issue of our currency, and we need to take the issue of Africa continental free trade very serious. Once we begin to trade amongst ourselves, you see, a poor man does not have dignity. Poor man, the day Africa would be able to come out of ourselves, we control all the raw materials. Why wouldn't we control the world? But they know that, so they have created this confusion. So that when I move from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, I was able to communicate. Nepal, I don't know. Then I come back. When you move to Burkina Faso, the value is the same. Togo, you can't communicate. You have to go to somewhere in Nigeria. Omo Niger too is another matter. But once we come together and trade and have a common currency, begin to do things together and share our egos, that I'm the president of Uganda, and so what? If you are president of Uganda and your countrymen and women are suffering and living in abject poverty, if you are the president of Ghana and your countrymen and women are suffering and living in abject poverty, what is the benefit of that? Let's come together, and once we are together and doing what is right for our economies to grow, that Romanian ambassador will not even think of calling you a monkey, because he will think twice. He will know that the economic development of Romania is directly linked to the sources Africa. But now, hey, every day we are going to beg. We are on the begging spree when they have nothing. I'll end it here.
Mr. Oso, I'll stay with you on our next topic for discussion. The former Environment Minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, he has been speaking, especially after it came to light that about 3 weeks ago, the special prosecutor, he was actually called to, he was invited to the office of the special prosecutor, where he was again arrested. He was arrested and granted a 2 million Ghana cedi bail. He has been speaking to this particular effect. A lot of media houses have been engaging him. We're one of the very first to actually get wind of this particular information when he first was arrested. And a lot have been spoken about the fact that when it first happened, the office of the special prosecutor did not come out to say, like they would usually do with high-profile cases like this, come out to say, oh, of course, so and so and so and so and so and so. It was actually swept under the carpet. It was one of the leading members of the New Patriotic Party who had to leak the information, and then we got wind of it that this had happened. But this is a man, if you look at what he's been saying over the past few days, he clearly feels hard done by with regards to what has been happening over the past few weeks, and how government has treated his interministerial committee on illegal mining, that particular report, which implicated a number of people, both in government and, of course, in the opposition. So he's been speaking about it, and he's clearly dissatisfied by how this particular issue has been handled, to the very extent that he's been arrested. This is a man that a lot of people say, and I mean, it's there. He's paid his dues to the Ghanaian community. The Kolebu Cardiothoracic Center is a little testament of, I mean, some of the great things that he's been able to do for this country. So, for him to have arrived at this particular point, for many Ghanaians, it is a worrying situation. But it appears he no longer has confidence in the New Patriotic Party, and even going into the 2024 general elections. Mr. Solo, your thoughts on this issue?
Professor Frimpong Boateng, the last time I checked, still remains a member of the NPP. Not just a member, but a strong one indeed. Definitely he has an issue with the current administration. I'm not too sure Prof will leave the MPP. I'm not too sure Prof will support the NDC come 2024. What I strongly believe that is that he is not happy with the way and manner things are being done and things are being handled. Myself, I'm not happy, and I associate myself to my unhappiness in the way and manner Prof is being treated. You see, I listened to the special prosecutor last Saturday after our program. I took time to listen to the entire interview he granted on Joy News. And I wasn't convinced by the kind of responses he gave to the host of the program. See, yes, your duty or mandate as a special prosecutor is to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses. Now, when you invite someone, it's an invitation, you understand. You must let the person know why you are inviting the person. Listening to him, he himself admitted that they weren't too sure of the kind of charges they had to prefer against him. And that when he came there, they needed to ask a variety of questions to solicit information. You understand? That means you are not prepared. In any case, proponents of those that are saying that the decision to invite him is as a result of the leakage of his report to the chief of staff and for that matter the president will not be wrong with the timing. And then again, the office of the special prosecutor says it's just a luckless, just coincidence. It cannot be just coincidence when you stated or told the whole world that you were starting investigation in October of 2022. We are in June, for Christ's sake. The man honored your investigation on the 16th of May. And indeed, you are saying that as the head of the Interministerial Committee on Mining, he bear the ultimate responsibility. So if you were saying or starting any investigation in October, and you claim you have invited a lot of people before you, I was thinking he would be the first person to actually focus. But to wait from October to May before you invite him, then you give a lot of room for people to speculate that, hey, you are doing that because he attached people that are perceived to be untouchable. And let me say, nobody is untouchable. The good Prof enjoys massive support from the people of this country. You see, the report that he gave to the chief of staff, nobody can say it was a report that was only targeted at the New Patriotic Party. A report that cites NDC members, who can say that it's only targeted at the MPP? A report that says the MP for Owasa East from the NDC stock single-handedly has destroyed the Subiri forest. Who can say it's a report that is targeting the MPP? A report that says when you go to the Western region, Galamsey kingpins are the NDC officials. Who can say it's a report targeting the MPP alone? A report that points fingers at those that are working at the seat of government. Look, mind you, there is a difference between government and political party. Yes, political parties give birth to government, but governments, when you become a government, you cease to be a political party. Because when you go to the Jubilee House, there are a lot of civil servants working there who do not belong to the New Patriotic Party. They are there by virtue of being members of the civil service or the public service. And so we need to separate these two issues. Now he went there, he was asked various questions. And the love that Prof has for the New Patriotic Party. You know, he attended the interview on the 16th of May. Mm-hmm. The issue broke out somewhere on the 10th or so, or 9th of June. Yeah. It was not for nothing. Prof decided not to let people know because he knew the backlash that the office of the special prosecutor was going to face. And that would have marred or denigrated the New Patriotic Party's image in the eyes of the public. So he decided to sit on it. But your news outlet, your station, and of course the people behind the station are so powerful that they are able to whisper or get some serious or damning information at any given time. That is how he came out. You know that. You know, if Prof had made it known that he was invited on the 16th, the special prosecutor wouldn't have had his peace of mind. Because look, the power of this country belongs to the people of this country. And not any office that you are holding. You are holding or enjoying any power because under Article 1 of our Constitution, the sovereignty of the country resides in the people. Yeah. And we are giving you the power to act on our behalf. And that power must not be exercised in such a way and manner that seems to be discriminatory. Having invited the good prof and having told him that he was under arrest, yes, because once you write your statement, the office of the special prosecutor has the powers of a police or the police service. So when they invite you, you are likely to be made to write a caution statement. And once you write your caution statement, then ordinarily you have to be bailed. But under the circumstance, people were thinking that he freely or willingly went to the special prosecutor. So if for nothing at all, this is a man of good standing in society, he could have been given a self-reconnaissance bail so that he could come. But for him to be bailed, yes, according to the special prosecutor, no one is a saint. What it means is that he himself as a special prosecutor is not a saint. Yeah. And so I cannot take everything that he says as sacrosanct. You understand? We, some of us, what we are going to follow now is that having given or laid the first bail, all those that were mentioned in this report as having one or two or in other ways involved themselves in corruption and corruption-related acts. We are expecting the special prosecutor to treat them in a way and manner that the good prof was treated. That one, there cannot be ifs and buts. There cannot be difference between the day by Kokoba. All of them are being governed by the same laws of the land. Once that is done, then we can go ahead and deal with it. But in any case, it's what we are doing is the special prosecutors' investigations in a way going to deal with the issues of corruption, galamsey in the country. As we speak, galamseys are still in the forest, digging every day. And some have the audacity and impunity, young guys, and video film themselves and put it on various social media outlets. That look, we are here, we are in Accra and we are talking anything. We are here digging. We are going to destroy the environment. They say it with impunity. And if people are going to toy with this issue of galamsey, we are killing our future. And so if such things happens, why wouldn't the ambassador to Kenya call us monkeys? Because issues that affect our well-being, our very survival as a country. Now, recently, Professor Sampere of Konfanochi and KUST came out with a report that a lot of babies that have been born with 3 legs and then 5 eyes and so on and so on are as a result of the effects of galamsey. Is it not concerning? All the water that we are drinking, go to our village. It's nothing to write home about. So, we thought that in the olden days, they were not enlightened. That's what we have been saying. They were living in the Kolo days. But these olden days people who were living in Kolo days, whose eyes were not open, kept the forest intact, kept our streams intact. You could drink from a stream without this pure water. Even this pure water are contaminated. Now, those of us that believe that we are enlightened, all that we do with our enlightenment is to destroy the environment. If the country would redirect its focus on those that are causing the distractions to the environment, if the country would direct its effort onto what the prof said about the fact that in his attempt to deal with the issue of galamsey, we have government appointees, people powerful in the party, calling on him not to do so because party Yeska, then we have to deal with it. Galamsey cannot be a political matter. If you want to play politics with it, that is your own matter. But so long as I have my children in this country, I don't know where they will go and drink water. And you don't determine where they have to be tested to drink water. So if you are playing with it, I don't know. Look, when I've lived in Obuasi before. When we were there was something called Obuasianka War. There was no orange like Obuasianka. Yeah. When galamsey started, go and check the acidity levels in there. Now nobody even mentions it. When we were in Obuasi, there wasn't any galamsey you could hear 2 or 3 people doing it in some bush. It wasn't like it's today. A lot of the people were into farming. Now you see we are enlightened. We are distressed. So I am with Prof on this. Let us treat the man with dignity. I'm not too sure Prof is someone that we can be treated like a common criminal. Yes, you can say he's not a saint, but in the eyes of right-thinking Ghanaians, what he has done qualifies to be near saint. And that I know the intention of Prof and the headlines that have been given can never be that Prof will not endorse the new patriotic party, especially when he knows the programs and activities of Alan Chamante. That Alan believes in the environment and Prof also believes in it, and at 2024, when he sees Alan as a flag bearer of the new patriotic party on the ballot, I mean, he will be the first person to go back to his village and campaign for the new patriotic party and ensure that victory is assured. I'll end it here.
Right, thank you so much. Let me come to Nana on this issue.
This country, I always tell you that this country, our leaders, where they got their learning or their certificates from. Simple things, they make it sound as if the whole world is falling apart. What has the man done? So the moment you start speaking the truth, the lies will have to come after you, or the wicked will have to come after you, or those people who are perceived to be criminals will come after you. What wrong has this man done? In any case, me, I am one person who has always advocated that the office of the special prosecutor is needless. It's needless. What job is he doing? It's a duplication of Attorney General's department or office. So now Attorney General is doing nothing. And he is the one who is supposed to prosecute everybody in this country. Now you tell me our constitution. Is it not the same constitution who is telling us that it's the Attorney General who has a mandate to prosecute people who involve or who are indulged in some of these things? Now you come, you create an office just to make sure that office becomes witch hunting office for your opponent. If not for your opponent, people who will speak the truth. Some of us will continue to speak the truth because the truth is just one. The systems don't work. And so far as our systems don't work, this will always happen. Because there's nowhere in the world that somebody speaking the truth and then at the end of the day, you send people to go after him secretly. You invite him. On what grounds? Let the people who he has mentioned their names in those documents come out and tell us that, yes, we were not part of this, and so we are taking the man to court. You as a special prosecutor, you don't need to invite the person and let it sound as if that the person has erred. What this man did, if indeed there's no truth in it, how come you invited the man secretly? You are telling us that this was the date. I was not even aware. You understand? Yeah. So if the news had not come out, nobody will even know that the man was invited and he has been granted bail. How? Special prosecutor is now turned to a police station. It has now turned to police station, or I mean, where you grant people bail. And you see, sometimes when you are speaking the truth in this country, people think that, oh, this man's speaking on air, we don't know where he's coming from. But the reality is that when you read about things in other countries, you realize that we are in shithole. Yes, for a better word. Yes, that is it. Because instead of them to sit down and plan about this country, the way forward, they are rather moving us back 100 years. How? This is primitive thinking. If it is not true that Flagstaff House, there's Galamsey kingpins there, they should rather say, because this man has used our name, we are going to take him to court. Is that not what is done? So how come special prosecutor will invite him? How come? And you will see people dancing about the truth. Dancing, meanwhile, the truth is just once. Just say it and be free. The way President Akufo-Addo and his Baumia are ruling this country, it's as if we are in a different planet. So the moment you decide to go after them and tell them the reality right in their faces, they say, go after this man. He doesn't like us. I mean, what is all this? Is that a way to govern a state? We stood in the sun to vote for you to come and better the living conditions of the ordinary Ghanaian. We didn't vote for you to come and make sure that our lives are rather in a shithole. Look at what is happening in this country. It rains and you can't even move from your house. Now, all that we are seeing is that they have been scattering of various contracts, road contracts. You move to Teshi to Tema, you see one contractor on site, you come to Obichebi, roundabout, you see, and when it rains, all these areas, there's flooding. Instead of you to sit down and say, look, we are embarking on one particular project, so at the end of the day, when we are done with it, we move to plan B or we move to another project. No. You do it and then you scatter it on paper. So as soon as we talk, oh, we are doing Adosu Road, we are doing Tema Road. Meanwhile, it's not true.
That Adosu Road is office.
Oh, Master, I don't even want to go there.
But the last I said you were going on
you see, I'll come to that. This your government, eh? This your president.
I said they called you.
This your president and this your government. They know how to lie. They know how to convince people to be able to come out and swallow their words.
Oh, how?
Oh, yes. Because at the end of the day, the way they will speak to you as if tomorrow everything is going to be solved.
So you mean you were swindled?
Master, till date, the MC himself, we have not seen him. He promised that the next day they are going to fix street lights at Adosu. There's no street light. And for me, I am telling the district commander that this time around, we are not going to issue any letter.
Oh, we are going to...
I said, we are not going to give them any letter. They will come and the road is blocked. And nobody is going to allow them to take the toll from the market. I am telling you. Because what I have realized is that this country, they don't like the truth. All that they need is that make the action and then they will sit up. Look at what is happening in this country. You speak the truth and then you are tagged. You speak the truth when you are going to your house, the motorbike will be following you. You speak the truth and then when you are walking, somebody will be telling you, be careful. Look at the way you speak on air, you have to be careful. What is this? You go to different, and you see, in all this, from President Akufo-Addo to Baumia to J. Mensah and the rest, they have traveled. They have schooled outside. And they know how the system works. Why can't they copy the systems that they learned there to make sure our system also works? And then you see our vice president. He wants to implement policies. He will not even take his time to make sure that that policy will even help or not. And then today he said, I'm giving tablet. The next day I'm bringing SkyTrain. The next day I am now, what I heard was that he's going to give newborn babies Ghana card. Can you imagine?
Did he say Ghana card? What I heard him say was he was going to give them numbers.
Numbers? Why? They said Ghana card. How can babies have fingerprints?
The airline doesn't allow kids to have Ghana card.
So you see, if you want to become a president, this is not the way you have
I'm not too sure that was what he promised.
No, Masa, go and read. When I finish, I will open the site for you.
I saw it, but
you see, instead of them to make sure that even for once, let one system work in this country. And we will be proud that, at least when President Akufo-Addo came, a particular system is working perfectly. Tell me, which system is working? Tell me. Masa, there's nothing. You come, you say you are going to create Ghana card. Even that Ghana card, I have issues with it. All of a sudden, people don't even have access to the Ghana card. Somebody has gone to register. 3 years, he has not gotten his Ghana card. Then you have a minister, all that he's interested is blocking people's sin. Meanwhile, you travel outside. The moment you get to outside, you buy a SIM card, you insert in your phone, you go Google, you go on the website, you install it. It works.
But you use a card.
Which card?
You use
you don't use any card.
You use an ID.
Massa, which ID? When you
your passport.
Massa, stop that. Then it's been a while you travel.
No, but
you see,
you free
Massa
access to.
I am just coming from a country. When I got there, the airport, I bought a ticket.
They use your passport.
Which passport? Because the system is working. So why can't you make the system work? Make the system work. You don't have to allow the person to go through all this stress.
Yes.
Going to queue at dawn. And at the end of the day, he doesn't even have access to the card. And then you see a minister coming, bragging to block people's numbers.
But have you listened to the Supreme Court ruling on chiefs doing politics?
Master, forget about it. You see, that is why I'm saying that the moment you start speaking the truth, then they will start coming after you. A chief doing politics. A chief, why do you? Am I having a different blood in me?
No, the Supreme Court.
I will continue to speak the truth, and I will continue to let Ghanaians know that the system is wrong, and we need to correct the system.
I agree with you that
if you want to correct the errors, then they want to come after you. Look at what they have done to Frimpong Boateng. They just want to tarnish the image of that gentleman. And is this? Look at his reputation. Somebody who was at the time who was able to work on people's hearts. If not, some of them who are now against him, he has worked on their heart before. Yes. Had it not been him, some of them are dead by now. And you come back and be doing all this thing to this man. Is it right? Is it right? You see, sometimes, yes, when you don't take your time and some of these issues comes up, what it will come out from your mouth, people will be surprised. And they'll be wondering, why is this man speaking like that? But that's the reality. That's the reality. They travel. They see what is happening in other countries. They go, borrow money. We are coming to build. We are coming to make sure our country also becomes like yours. The money is given to them. And then when they come, they buy Land Cruisers. Tell me, when you went outside to Denmark, how many Land Cruisers did you see?
They don't have.
You don't understand. But look at this country.
But they invest
everybody
in the roads.
Which roads?
No, outside they invest.
You understand?
They can use small cars. So we don't invest in the roads. So we have to use big cars.
Can you imagine? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, when we were going for the money, he said, we are coming to construct roads, we are coming to construct hospitals, schools. But when you come, all that you think of is to buy your Land Cruiser first. And after buying the Land Cruiser, then you can build. So along the line, the rest of the money, when you start, it will get to a lengthy level, you have to stop. And then the next government will also come and say, let me come and prove, let me come and investigate. Then the thing will be there. That is why we keep having contracts that has been awarded to individuals and we don't work on them. Our leaders can't think outside the box. Our leaders, if not for any words, are sick. Our leaders, if not for anything, don't want to accept the truth. And this is the time, chiefs, opinion leaders, we have to stand up.
But the Supreme Court
why
you can't do it.
And that is why I'm telling you that the Supreme Court is there. The Supreme Court, it is interpretation. The person who is interpreting what is on the paper is a human being like me and you. But he can decide that based on A, B, C, D, go ahead. That is why sometimes you go and there's an issue. Then you sit there and say, for this issue, if we don't rule it, the whole country will be in a mess. Perception. That is sense. That is thinking. And so don't think that because the Constitution is telling you this, you go ahead and say, because once the Constitution has done, let's go ahead. Yembo Manika. When the Omain Eboka, you are part of it. You are in it. And at the end of the day, we all suffer. Look at what is happening in Asen North. It's totally useless. It's needless. It doesn't call for such even any by-election. Simple. Why? You cry. You go and beg footballers to come and play for Ghana. Somebody has gone to learn. Bring the sense, the common sense he has. Bring money. He said, I am coming to help Ghana. Meanwhile, you stand on platforms, you tell businessmen, come and let's develop our country. The person comes and you said, he's not a Ghanaian. Amongst all the MPs, Honorable, Menin Sound, amongst all the MPs, they should tell us who doesn't have a red book. including the vice president now and the president himself.
The vice president.
They were once having Red Book. Do you know Red Book?
I know.
You know Red Book? And they will just sit down quietly.
The same thing when Adamu Sakande was.
Massa, you see, that is why
Did you say that? I am not saying
that is why I'm saying that. At that time, I didn't have the opportunity. Now I have the opportunity, so I need to.
So you would have said the same thing.
So, hey, Massa, I am telling you the truth. You see, if now this is the time I have the opportunity to be able to speak for people to listen. If I had the opportunity in those days, I would have said the same thing. Because the truth is one. The truth is one. You see, people are hiding behind this constitution, and at the end of the day, they are making Ghana lose money. If we know the constitution is outmoded, let's throw it away. Why? Can't we throw it away? Even now, the textbooks that we were using in 1994 is not the same textbook. How come? How come? After constitution, we can't do review.
But we did review the only review
that we do is that we do review to suit the Article 71.
No, there was a constitutional review committee. So Professor Fiado's committee, what happened to their report?
Let me tell you something. You see, the president has the right to be able to say that today I have been able to gotten hold of this document. I want it to work. It will work. Both presidents, both leaders are not prepared to change their mind. Yes.
I agree with you.
If they all agree to the fact that, look, we have done ABCD, let's go ahead and execute it. It will work for Ghana. Because they are enjoying, because they know that when some of those things are passed, their powers will be reduced. They can't have access to carry chair in their land process V8 all the time. They will not do it.
Who is carrying chairs here?
Go and ask your president.
Right. Thank you so much.
Go and ask your president.
Thank you so much, Madam. Too. Thank you so much, Madam. Let me come to you, Honorable Kedi.
This issue with Prof. Boateng, I must say that it is unfortunate, but in our night of martial society, we have some saying that in the devil's shop, he has all the goodies that you need, and that is, if you want to get the best of wine, you get it there. If you want to get the best of food, you get it there. And so the devil always threw it at you. And you have to make a decision whether you go to the devil or not. And I asked myself whether this is not what has happened to Prof. Did he think that he could possibly change the MPP philosophy and the MPP ways of doing things? And let him ask himself very well, because he's been with them for so long, and he joined them voluntarily, and he's been working with them. He's even been a presidential candidate before, and I want him to ask himself again whether he can, or he thought he could have changed the current government that he voluntarily decided to join. And when they gave him that appointment to work, after the government has obviously failed, this vanguard and all those things, they created them before him. They were all under Amewu. And Amewu failed, but the government did not want to accept it. The government wanted to go for an election, and they don't want to let it appear that they've seen that they have failed. They've seen that now all their policies as regards the mining will not work. They wanted a credible face to let it appear to Ghanaians that they are ready to tackle it head on, and they brought him. In retrospect, are his thoughts? Does he think that he was trying to even accept that position? And when he accepted it and started fighting against some forces, probably the best thing for him to have been to resign. When he saw that the forces that came against him was too big and that were from presidency, the best thing was to resign and save what he's going through now. But I think he was there until finally he was relieved of his position and asked to write a report, of which he did. And this report had been shelved for 3 years. What does he ask himself? Why was this report, which brought out a lot of issues, shelved for 3 years and did not come out? The prof has some questions to answer. Not that of criminality, but I believe that, and why did he not come out? Because for good 3 years, this report had been shelved and was not coming out. Why? What did he do to let this report come out? Did he accept it until it was leaked out, and now he has to practically, immediately it was leaked out, all the players came after him. He has about 2 or 3 lawsuits in court. Yes, in court. Gabi and another person, Captain Koda, they sent him to court. So is it an attempt to save his face, or an attempt to save himself that he is doing now? Because for 3 years they've shelved his report and he never came out to tell Ghanaians. I even did not know that he has submitted such a report. And so he's a very good man. Like I think the previous speakers have said, I'm a doctor. When I was there as a house officer, he was there as a consultant, cardiologist, cardio surgeon. And what he's done for Ghana, I believe that as a pioneer cardio surgeon in West Africa or in Africa, I believe that nobody's doubting what he has done for Ghana. But like I'm saying, they'll throw the goodies at you. They'll throw the positions at you. And when it is not working, the time that he's coming out now, I'm not happy with it. You should have come out far earlier to tell us that this government is not working. Now the government, he has allowed the government to stay for their 8 years. Now they've chased practically everybody to silence, and they are now chasing him himself. If not so, why should a special prosecutor, who is supposed to be an independent person, invite him? In fact, I think we did not hear of his invitation. We only heard it later on when I believe the issues came out again and he started speaking. He was invited. And now, as if he was invited, but he was now charged as a suspect. And I understand that is the way they do it. But I believe that immediately after that, he should have spoken. For so many times, he has kept quiet. Is it that now that they are running after him, that is why he's coming out? And I'm saying that until this government of the NPP actually goes out of power, we will not be able to know the real status of this Galamsey under them. And until these issues are really investigated well, we will not know. If not so, they are saying that they are inviting 100 people. from his that he's going to invite 100 people, or he has invited 100 people, or he's going to go after up to 100 people, suspects. Why is it that the special prosecutor is not coming out with a list of those people? Now it appears that he's coming out with one or two, or when we make noise, then another person's name will be added. That is what is happening. When we ask, you are sitting there talking too much, it will go beyond Chalbisui, another person's name will be added. Why is those 100 people's name not out? Why is it that we are not hearing? Okay, Frimpong Boateng has been charged with this or suspected of doing this. His bail amount is 2 million. Why is it that Gabi Otsuraku's name is this? And this is the distance. His bail amount is 1 million. I mean, this list, where is it? He's only told us that he's going to investigate up to 100 people, or even more. But why is it that only Frimpong Boateng's name is out? Is it a situation that they want the man is talking too much? He knows too much? If something is not done about him, they are all in trouble. Because I know a lot of underground dealings that took place. He himself once even stated that the party needed money. In other words, he has seen some evil somewhere else. But he was not going to act on it because the party needed money. And that, as if the party should be allowed to look for money. We needed money to run the party, and all those people who are involved in the illegal activity are looking for money to run the party. So was that a legalization of the illegal, or an attempt to explain the wrongs that was going on at that time? And he, as a leader, what did he do? Please, as we look at the issue very well, and as we advise the special prosecutor to do his work well, and we are demanding that, no, he should streamline his work. Probably there's the need for Ghanaians rather to call on the special prosecutor to come out completely with whatever it is. Because this government has destroyed the environment more than any other government in the history of Galamsey. The NPP government, in terms of their fight against Galamsey, is also the worst. With the president, even sometimes, his comments not so helpful even to the special prosecutor. I don't know how the special prosecutor is going to prosecute Akonta mining when the president has said that he has seen no wrong, he has not heard anything wrong, and the man has not done anything wrong. So please, let us look at this aspect very well. As regards his statement that about the contestants for the primaries, it's an indictment on all those who are standing. This is a man who has been with them for so long. He's worked with all of them. He's not standing anymore. But he did not say anything positive about any of them. I thought that he could have picked about 4, 5, or 6 of them, or even all of them, and spoken something positive about them. But here he was, that he was still observing. As an inner party member with them for so many years, you don't have anything, this thing, you still have to observe, to like any of us, or like any floating voter. It wasn't good. Well, this man is like this man is like that, this man is like that, this man is like this. But you say that you are still waiting on the fence and observing. I believe that honestly speaking, the vice president and Alan Chermantin and the front runners should know that no, indeed, from even inside the party, there is something wrong, or there's something wrong that is being seen about those who are contesting, and that they have to up their game. They don't have anything good to offer Ghanaians. They are a group of people who have failed the country, and Prof is aware of it, and so Prof, as a party member, and like Erasmus in the Catholic Church, will not like to expose them, but I believe that he knows more than what actually we are seeing him to this thing. And the government should be careful the way they are going after him. If breaks are not kept, I believe that come 2024, when the NDC comes to power.
2024, you are coming to power.
Yes.
Do you have any power to come?
We will come to power in 2024.
Okay.
After December 7th, when we are declared winners, this aspect or this issue that is covered up, that is under the sand, that we cannot easily resolve, will be an issue that we need to bring it to the fore. We'll go back to the Prof document and we will handle it, and I believe that Ghanaians will know the truth about the Galamsey issues that are coming up. After all, it is said that the amount of gold that the Arab countries imported from Ghana, their records show that they imported more gold from Ghana than our export details is saying. In other words, in between the exports and the imports of gold, there's a difference. And what is happening? Could it be that it is all related to what Prof is saying? And so the presidency and the whole, our trade surpluses and balances are incorrect. And so economic crimes have been committed, and we need to go into it. In other words, we have caused financial loss to the state. And so we should look into it very well come 2024 or 2025 when the NDC government comes to power.
Right, thank you so much. I'll do a few of your messages and then we proceed. We do not have so much time, by the way, but let me also read out your opinions on the very topics that we have tabled for discussion. Bless, good morning. What is happening in the NPP party? Two of their communicators, Solo and Elvis Bota, these days speak to truth. The party doesn't like that, so they should be careful. We need these two people. Good morning, Solo, from CJ and Koko. Good morning to you all. Bless, the OSP is a bomb to Ghana politics. He doesn't know what his role is about. If you embarrass an old man like that, prepare for yours tomorrow. Mohammed Seidu from Tamale. Bless, under Kufuado, the mother serpent of corruption, the whistleblower has become a culprit on Galamsey, whilst the big fishes are let off the hook. Martin Amidou left the OSP because of government manipulation. Sad. Good morning, Bless. Regards to yourself and the panelists. Please is Mr. Isi one of your regular panelists, a public servant or a civil servant? If he's either, what time does he go to work, please? And is he on government's payroll, please? And has he got a supervisor, please? Thank you. Okay. Isi is not here to respond to your questions, but of course, yes, I know he's a government appointee. He's the public relations officer of the National Disaster Management Organization. This one here is quite lengthy. It says, my name is Suleiman Mohammed Bashir. I'm one of your followers of many of your programs on Pan-African TV. Okay. Right. after creating this mess and leading the country to bankruptcy and junk status, leading the country to bankruptcy and junk status, rendering the people poorer, they are now talking about paperless system. Would that change the country? Well, that is a question for the gods. Let me do some more of your messages, the ones that you have shared via Facebook. Okay. Trying to get hold of some of the messages that you forwarded to us via Facebook. But whilst I go through the messages, I think I'll give my panelists some 2 minutes each to look at the fact that Parliament will be celebrating 30 years of uninterrupted, democratic Parliament. And they have a lineup of activities that will be coming. And of course, Honorable Kurt would share his thoughts with us. He's a member of Parliament. He represents the good people of Nabdam, and he actually again stands a chance to continue 24 because he has actually won the NDC's parliamentary primaries in Nabdam and will be on the ticket of the party on December 7, 2024. Whether the good people of Nabdam would re-elect him or repose confidence in him, well, we'll be waiting to see what comes of that. But Honorable Kurt, Parliament, 30 years uninterrupted democracy, a huge feather in our cap.
Yes, if you consider the number of years, 30 years, you'll see that really, if you were born 30 years ago, you will now be a young man, probably qualified to be in Parliament, probably well employed and earning a living by yourself. You should be able to contribute constructively towards the growth of this country. And so we should be happy and proud just looking at the figure 30 years. However, we should carry out an introspection into what these 30 years have brought us. I think that apart from stability, I'm not happy with our own economic achievements. I'm not happy with our infrastructural achievements. I'm not happy with our socioeconomic baskets that, our job creation as a nation is worse than before. I remember those days when you complete school, even under the military regimes, etc., you could get employment as against this time, where when you complete school, for 3, 4, or 5 years, you don't know what type of work you are going to do. You have to continue to be what do you call it? A pupillage, or be learning things alongside that you are not being paid properly. Until such a time that you grab a good job, you are just left on your own. And so we need to look at our educational system and all those sort of things. But the Parliament has taken a decision to celebrate it. And in the northern zone, at Wa, there's going to be a mock parliament where students from various institutions are going to join to create something like a parliament and carry out discussions on issues. Then I think there's also a program in Tamale, also a forum in Tamale, where issues will be discussed here and there. That is the first phase of the program. Is taking place in the northern part of the country before other programs are rolled out. I think it is in the right direction, because when our democracy, our experience has shown that when our democracy is truncated, the first arm of government that is dissolved is Parliament. The victims or the organ that is completely dissolved and banned is Parliament. The executives, to some extent, are able to survive. When I say survive, it doesn't mean the same people, but they're able to get new people to form the executive. they're able to get new people probably to form the judiciary wing of government. But Parliament is always dissolved. Parliament is not allowed to operate. Parliament, de facto, they ban Parliament completely, and they don't replace Parliament. And so we have something to celebrate. That at least at the moment we are operating, except that we are not achieving the results that Ghanaians expect us to do. But Parliament is alive, and we should. They say that sometimes you have to celebrate because you are alive. The two say Adiache also you are among the living, and so Parliament, we have something to celebrate because we are alive and we are among the living, and we are carrying out our activities in Ghana.
But there's still a lot more to be done.
A lot more.
Right.
Yes.
Nana.
I like the last statement that Honorable said. They are still alive. But he didn't add, we are alive, so we are going to do more. And make sure that Ghanaians really will be happy with the kind of jobs that they are doing there. For me, 30 years, fantastic. Uninterrupted. It has been smooth. The process has been democratic. Fantastic. But then, let's ask ourselves two simple questions. Have they been up to the task? People will say we are still learning. For how long are we going to continue learning? Like Honorable Riley said, if you are 30 years, you are a young man. In fact, not even a young man, because you are a full grown-up person, even though normally we say life begins at 40. This time, I don't believe in that proverb, because the issue is that, yes, they've been 30 years, or we've been 30 years of democracy in Parliament. This is the only Parliament that we have both political parties having the same number. In fact, not just the same number as in men, the same number as in women, the same number as in the figures. Because we have 20 MPs from NDC, which are women, 20 from NDC who are women as well, and the rest, same for men. Just that had it not been, I say not issues here and there, and me, I keep saying it's bogus. I don't see the reason why. And I expect them to do more, because these are issues they need to really talk about it, because it's one of their own. And if care is not taken, it is going to set some precedent whereby every time somebody is having an old red book or old blue book, people will come out and say, this person is not a Ghanaian. What qualifies one to become a Ghanaian? When we were having one Boateng who was in UK Parliament, we were priding ourselves that, oh, there's a Ghanaian in UK Parliament. How can't we pride ourselves that there's one person who was once an American or Canadian citizen who is also in Parliament, who is going to bring the experience that he has? For me, Parliament, well, I'll give you 50 over 100 because there is more to be done. Just that I don't want to fail you by giving you 49. So I'll just add one so that you get a pass mark. Because what is happening in Parliament, this particular session, when we expect them to do more, then they disappoint us.
Right, you so.
Yes, Parliament is supposed to be a law-making institution and also serve as a check on the executive. The question we ask ourselves is whether or not the laws that they have been making there inure to the benefit of the country, whether they have also been serving as a check on the executive. From 1992 to date, I think from a fair perspective, the quality of engagement keeps reducing. If you check the days of G.H. Mensah and then up to 2000, it was very heated. But even in those times, we never saw Parliament throw blows until recently, like we said, we are elected, we started throwing blows. I believe going forward, Parliaments must save this country of those fighting, new fighting, doesn't speak well of the country. Again, the engagement, community engagements must be more. Our various MPs, they don't engage the community. You are not there to be taking decisions on your own accord. You are there to be representing the people. What sort of engagement went on before you decided to go and vote in a particular direction? And the recent phenomena that is even so annoying is the whipping system that has been introduced into our parliament by the political parties. Political parties must know that parliament is not a political football. It is for developmental agenda. You cannot be sitting at the party office and be issuing instructions to parliamentarians that they must vote and block in a certain direction. So if you are doing that, the next time you go back to the constituency and they tell you, the party executive, but you said you are many, you are the Lord on your own. So you can do whatever you like. What are we going to say? Let us try to engage the people. Because we are there because of the people. When we enter parliament, we must forget about this business of NDC MP. I hate to hear those things. NPP MP for this. Who is NPP MP for that? Who is NDC MP for this? It is an MP representing Ghana. And so every decision must be in the best interest of the state and not the best interest of any political party. Political parties, many a times, don't think about the interest of the people that much. They are very much into how well we can behave so that we remain in power. This power that we get, what do we do with it? And honestly, sometimes when I see people fighting for power, I ask myself, this power, when it comes, what do we do with it? Just to show off. In terms of real development, in terms of strategic thinking to better the lot of the people, we always neglect the poor. Because now we have joined the big clubs. You know, when you get the power, now you are with the big players, so you forget them. So Parliament must begin to look at things from that angle and also our political parties in choosing those that represent us on our tickets must do this country a great service by making sure that we get the best. The mere fact that someone is popular in a particular constituency and does not know his left from right does not mean you must let that person represent the party and go to parliament to do what? When we do that, we reduce the quality of representation in this country. And that will not help this country. I know my time is almost up. As for people are signaling, including my brother here, who should rather come and sit here and be talking.
Soon.
So let me say that Parliament has a lot to do. We need to be up and doing. We need to represent the interest of the country. It cannot be a Parliament that goes to approve more loans and then turn around, come and sit here and tell us that we have overborrowed. That thing, anytime any parliamentarian says, you must arrest that parliamentarian immediately. Because I do not have the power to be approving the loans in Parliament. It cannot be that we give money for road construction and we have assurance committee there to make sure that the road is constructed. And it is not constructed, and then they just turn around and come and tell us the government is not constructing roads. No!
Right.
It shouldn't be entertained.
You shouldn't be entertained. Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Osu. Thank you so much, Nanato. Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Kurt Nawani. It's been such a pleasure. This is where we draw curtains on today's edition of the morning show. Tomorrow it comes your way again. My name is Korku Alormasor, sat in for Kwame Osudan. So do have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.